Brown Nugget, and welcome to the channel. I just dented the roof. So this is going to be a big staple on the channel. I've done a lot of work to it so far. It is actually a pretty cool truck. I'm going to start kind of nicknaming it Old Nugs so that it makes it sound a little bit better than the Brown Nugget. I told him I wasn't going to say cameraman, but you know, his name's Blake. He's behind the camera, and we've watched a ton of content, and we decided, hey, I think we can figure this out. So we're going to kind of put this thing together and see what comes out. Come along with us for the ride.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you looking at? Nothing. Not how to start a YouTube channel at all. Currently we are headed to go get a camera because obviously we really want to make sure that our content this is a new adventure. I like to talk to people, but I don't like to talk to huge groups. So that's why I'm happy I have somebody here that I can talk to and make me sound like I'm not going crazy. Yep. All 780 horsepower this thing makes. I think I'm only running on 2 cylinders because it's really only making about 180. But it is LS swap, so that's cool. Like I said, we call it the Brown Nugget. I think I'm going to eventually change that name if I ever paint it. But currently I like the way it looks. It's my truck, and I like it. Windshield wipers are huge. A lot of what I watch actually is automotive equipment, or automotive, good Lord, automotive automotive style videos, refurbishment, modifications, all kinds of cool stuff. I don't just sit there and watch repair videos for fun, but you know, I've consumed a numerous amount of those. It is hot in here. Oh, it's hot. And it's raining. We're gonna get wet. The entire basis of this channel is building on a budget. A lot of the parts that I've gotten for this truck here have been bought off of eBay, even some off of Amazon, and this truck drives phenomenally. Yes, it does feel like it's gonna fall apart when you hit a bump, but that's because 40 years old. But we've tightened up a lot, actually. This thing has done really, really, really well. And I really do wish I had filmed some of that content, but you know, the idea came afterwards. But yeah, so you know, maybe like a trade-up challenge. I've got one kind of video idea or series idea in mind called Breaking the Budget, because obviously if we are building on a budget, who's to say that that budget isn't huge? Most of the time it's not going to be very huge because, you know, I don't have millions of dollars laying around. Should be fun, as long as we don't run in the back of this Ford Transit. Cut! Wrap it up! We're here. This thing's freshly painted. Good Best Buy. Been here for a long time. Bought a lot of items from here. All right. Stick my handy dandy brake pad back on there. All right. And first, let's get the AC pumping in here. It's the 285 AC. 2 windows down, 85 miles an hour, and you're feeling breezy, baby. Is that better? You filming me? We're back! We're back! Cut! We're back! I'm out of breath. We're back. We're from Best Buy. We come from Best Buy and come in peace. We're back. No squeaking. Anyways, we did a lot of research. Ton. Like 5 minutes worth. That's a lot. And we kind of come up to the conclusion that Canon Rebel is definitely the way we need to go after we found out we needed a camera. Because everything can't be filmed on these iPhone cameras, even though they're pretty good for the money. They're a whole phone. Anyway, so we're going to get this all kind of loaded up. I know it's kind of not been the best quality, but hopefully it's going to go from this kind of quality to this. So now that we got our super professional camera equipment that we just absolutely blew our budget on. By the way, we actually swapped out the
Canon for a Sony. That's okay. We are going to get to the meat of the channel. The preface of this channel is called Building on a Budget. Now, whether that budget's big or whether that budget's small, that could depend on the vehicle, that could depend on the challenge. We're here to make some content and make it happen. So on this vehicle here, I'm actually going to start with a rear disc brake conversion. Now, I've wanted to do this to this truck for a while. Obviously, you've seen them online, but we've got calipers with our brake pads already in them, rotors, we've got e-brake cables, we've got brake lines, we've got brackets. We're gonna film the whole thing. It's gonna be in today's video, so that'll be a little bit of a kind of a preface for what the entire show is gonna be about, which is the automotive content. But it's probably not gonna be today for us because we've got some errands to run. So for you guys, it's only gonna be like a couple seconds. Are you ready to time travel? Go. We're in. Welcome back from the future. Well, actually, I guess the time is now. Anyways, we're here, we're in the garage. We're gonna go ahead and get started on this rear disc brake conversion. We're gonna be documenting pretty much the rest of the build of this truck. So it'll be pretty cool. You're gonna see some new parts that are on this truck, and that's stuff that we had kind of done to the truck before we actually decided to do a channel and get things running. So we're gonna get this thing jacked up into the sky. Obviously right now we're just working with jack stands and a jack, but hey, we work with what we got here on Building on a Budget. So let's get started. Perks of having a very short truck, very short jack struts. Cut! Jack stands are huge. Right there. I like it. All right. Well, we seem to have misplaced my Gorilla wheel lock key. Found it. Perfect. Now that we got the wheels off, we're gonna get started mounting these brackets. So we'll get them out of the plastic and rotors out, get everything kind of mounted up and shocked up. Perfect. That's good. Some of you guys may know how this works, but for those of you that don't, we actually will mount this portion onto the axle after all of the drum components have been removed. And then it just very, very easily bolts up to your calipers, which is pretty cool. I haven't actually done one of these on a square body, but I've done them before and they're pretty self-explanatory. Beautiful drilled and slotted rotors. Again, the preface of the channel is building on a budget. Now, like I said, it's gonna be determined by the series or by the car, by the vehicle, whatever the case may be, but all of this stuff here that we did get, got rotors, got calipers and pads, the brake lines, e-brake cables, all this was done for under 500 bucks. So if you guys do want a link, we can probably get a good price list on everything we found here. But if you guys want that, you can just message it in the comments and we'll figure something out. So cool. Dusty. So a lot of people actually have trouble with these hats. These are pretty easy actually on the square body, but one thing I do like to do just to kind of help, I'll take and grab the outer edge of this thing, push it in to load up the spring, and then I can just rotate that pin out. All right, I'm gonna be so happy to get rid of this junk. All right. This truck really didn't pull a whole lot to the right or left when I braked, but it would lock them up because we don't have any lock brakes on this sucker. So that was always fun. You just hold on for the ride and just pray that you keep it in between the ditches, you know? Okay, so now that we got all these beautiful drum pieces and hardware out the way, try to get this wheel cylinder out. You are gonna make a mess, but it's not that big a deal. Just a couple 3/8 bolts, the bleeder valve, and you can leave the bleeder valve actually closed. We got to get the brake line off though, so if it does break, that's okay. I mean, it's not ideal obviously, but if it does break, we got new brake lines. It's a 3/8. In certain cases, the brake lines may have been on here for a very long time and they're not going to move. So is this the most ideal way? No. Is there a way that's going to work? Absolutely. Are we going to make a mess? Probably. Oh yeah, you're turning now, big boy. We're gonna be leaking for a little bit. That's okay. Hold it. Yeah. Guess what? I might have to cut it off because I don't want to pull my axle out. I don't want to do this, but it's just gonna make things so much faster. Oh yeah, that is nasty. I've got to get this pin out so I can push the axle in, pop the collar off, and pull them out.
Nope. Okay. Sick. Hey y'all. All right. Now let's see how yours does. My pin's not coming out, brother.
That's about what it looks like right there.
Oh yeah, I got one just like that. Mine's in my hardware bucket. Rotate it down. Yeah. Mine ain't doing that. You're fired.
So the center pin has a burr on it, so it's not letting it actually come out of the carrier itself, so I can't get the axles pushed forward to get the clips out. I was looking up videos because I thought I was going crazy. Nope. So we're going back to our original plan of cutting off these stupid brackets off of the back of here, and we're going to get that kicked off right now. Okay guys, so kind of wanted to give a small, very short explanation of what happened and the reason why we didn't actually pull the axles out. Right here on the edge of this center pin, looks like it kind of got rolled over when they installed the pin back in. And so instead of when we pulled the actual bolt through this thing, this pin's supposed to just drop right out, just fall completely out of the carrier, and it didn't. So I think that somewhere along the lines we're gonna have to punch this pin completely out whenever we do decide to actually remove it. But for now, we just decided to cut the backing plates off, which is what I did, and we're gonna punch this back in, get the bolt actually put back in, and reseal the diff for the time being. So stay tuned, and I just wanted to kind of give a small explanation. So close. Fresh blade. Likes to grab onto everything. Create enough heat to eventually break it. Whether it wants to or not. Got our rotor on. Bracket looks good now, spaced right. Just need to put our caliper on, run our brake line to the caliper, and run our e-brake to the actual center. So making good progress. So we'll see how we finish up. What's up guys? This is the third day of trying to get everything kind of squared away on the Brown Nugget. Unfortunately, we have not had the best of luck with time. Just some things coming up in the middle of filming, so we had to kind of stop, take a break. Today I'm by myself, but I am going to put a couple things on the time lapse and just go ahead and finish up the rear disc brake conversion. I may do a voiceover, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Very quickly, I'm going to try and go ahead and get this diff cover cleaned up pretty well. Unfortunately, I'm having to use my drill because my Ziz wheel would not take my attachment, but we are going to get this diff cover cleaned up, sealed back up, put on the truck so I can finish up the rear disc brake conversion, drive it to the shop in the morning. Cool. Ordinarily I'd care about the backside, but I don't, because look at it. We'll just paint it later. Just gonna go ahead and button this back up. I did put just kind of a quick layer on this diff cover because, like I said, I'm gonna be pulling it right back off, so just kind of put a quick layer of gasket maker on it, and I'm gonna put it on now, kind of get everything lined up. Just throw a couple bolts in here and get it knocked out. Cue time lapse. Okay, so let's go around real quick, check them all, make sure they're good. And we are back on the actual rear disc brake conversion again. We're super close. Just went ahead and mounted, like put the caliper up here, doing some rough mock-ups, but I think it's actually pretty close to where I can go ahead and start kind of mounting this thing on here. You guys can just stay tuned and watch, and I'll time lapse this as well. So, cool. So, I'm not going to say that it was just my decision, but it was 100% only my decision. But we made a boo-boo. It's not that big a deal. Fortunately, I had some other brake lines, but this is one instance where you should always check every single part to make sure before you start ripping stuff apart and saying, oh, I don't need that, I toss that, I don't need that, that you have the exact replacement that's going to go back in. So here, I'll show you guys. I'll turn the camera around. I cut one of the brake lines because it was absolutely seized onto the wheel cylinder, and so could not get it loose. So I was like, you know what, hey, it's okay because we got brand new brake lines. So I went ahead and just snipped it, got it out of the way. Cool. Disassembly went like a breeze. But as I was going back and looking, my brake lines were only about 1 foot long, and they were made to be able to actually hook onto the existing brake line and spin it around to the caliper. Not that big a deal because fortunately I had some brake lines laying around. They're actually GK Tech for another project I have going on, but they're going to work just fine for what we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and get those plumbed up, and we are about ready to bleed the brakes and get this thing back on the ground. So stay tuned. What is up, guys? So as you can see, it's morning time. Had to wait for the parts store to open so that we could get a brake line that I could go ahead and kind of make shift to work. Pin it back in place around the axle, looks super nice. So unfortunately our kit did not come with full brake lines, so when that wheel cylinder got stuck and I just broke it off, I was like, who cares, you know? You should always check out all your parts, make sure you got exactly what you need to replace it when you make decisions like that. But we should be good to go going from here. I'm going to go ahead and just tidy this up, put this brake line on and bleed the brakes and put some gear oil back in the diff, and we're ready to roll. And then we'll just run the banjo bolts and be good to go. Most of you should know how a banjo bolt works, but for those of you that don't, obviously it's super simple. There's a hole that goes through the bolt, and then this actually sandwiches in between here where your fluid travels through. So when the fluid travels through the brake line into the side of this hole here, it goes inside the bolt and comes out inside the fitting on your caliper. Nice toy like a toy guy. On a test drive, but we're on a test drive to our next video shoot. Everything seems to be doing really well. Truck brakes very well. I'm pretty happy with it. Stay tuned for the next video. We are going to be welding out either the diff and the C notches or just the C notches. We'll see how much time we have, but hopefully both. Show you what we're doing here. Last part of this install we need to install is our very own Blake brake. Just for when we're a little bit out of hand, Blake needs to brake. As you can see, we finished up the rear disc brake conversion, and it seems to be working very well. We did not actually finish putting the e-brake system in place yet. We're going to work on that in a later video. The truck stops really well now. Got the brakes bleeded, and everything seems to be working really well. So one thing to end the video with, I want to read a verse of scripture. Probably going to do this at the end of every video. I think it's super important for us to showcase our faith. And this verse, actually, Psalms 70 verse 4 says, "Let all those who seek you rejoice and be glad in you, and let those who love your salvation say continually, let God be magnified." So I'm going to make sure that I actually seek scripture that God lays on my heart so that we can
put them at the end of each one of these videos. I think it's super important. I really appreciate all you guys for tuning in to the first video. We already got through today with filming next week's video, so it's been a busy day. If you do like the content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Appreciate all you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.